start a new reading blog, and I'm definitely doing something a little bit out of the box for this reading blog. For those that don't know, I am a teacher in the New York City public school system. I'm a theater teacher. This week is kind of special for me because it's always the week my production that I work on opens. This year was supposed to be Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior, but since our world has gone crazy and with all this pandemic stuff, um, school has been working. We've been working remotely. My show got canceled. My kids are super upset. And I've also been posting a lot of videos, like unlisted videos, to my YouTube channel. So my kids know I have a YouTube channel. And one class really wanted to be involved in a video. So I decided that I would have my students choose my TBR for me. I am doing a middle grade reading challenge this month through the TBR and Beyond reading group, so it was kind of loosely inspired by that. But also, I just wrote a bunch of, most of them were middle grade books, and put them on a poll. And one of my classes, 807, specifically wound up just voting, and they wound up choosing my TBR. I know that a lot of my students want shout outs. I will try to get them all because they're really, really sweet, and I really, really love all my classes. I miss them so much. But Ariane, Brianna, Isabella, Anastasia, a lot of other people in that class asked for shout outs. I will try to give them as many as I can throughout this week. But I do want to dive into the TBR that I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to read any more tonight because I'm honestly shot. But the first book I'm going to pick up is called Shadow School, Arithmancy by J.A. White. This is a book that for the reading prompts does the spooky or paranormal book. It's not that long. I'm sure I can finish this relatively soon, but this is the first book that they picked. I don't think they read any of the titles. Read any of the summaries, but they just found that this was like a cool title. And then the next book that they picked was The Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. This is the first book in a fantasy series. It's a really long fantasy series. It does involve twins, and that's really all that I know. So this will be the second book that I'm reading, physically reading. And then the doozy, the one that I was hoping to tackle this month, and I'm really glad that they picked it, was Keeper of the Lost Cities Legacies by Shannon Messenger. This is the last book in this series that I really do need to tackle, and I was hoping I would get to read it for middle grade March. And then the audio book that I'm going to start this readathon or this week of reading with is Wings on Fire, The Dragnet Prophecy by Tutti Sutherland. This is like an incredibly long fantasy series, but I'm gonna start reading this. It's also not long. This book is like, I don't even think it's not even 300 pages. So that is my reading plans. I'm definitely going to start Shadow School tomorrow. But I just wanted to pop in here and start this reading vlog and say that I think it's a really good week to do it because I'm having a lot of thoughts about my show and what I was hoping for this year. And I think, with everything going on, I want to have a place to share that and then ultimately share this video with my students. But I think that 807 will get a kick because they're kind of choosing my reads. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to start with Shadow School. I'm probably not going to listen to anything tomorrow morning because I have a couple of podcasts that I'm like a little bit farther behind on than I would like. So I'm probably going to focus on listening to my podcast tomorrow morning. But I'm definitely going to dive into Shadow School when I wake up, and I will give you guys my thoughts when I can. I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning for another update. I'm back. It is about almost 9 o'clock. I am officially teaching. But I want to come in and say that I am going to start Shadow School by J.A. White. I have a little bit of downtime before my class hands everything in. That's the hard part with online learning. You're waiting for everyone to hand stuff in, and they all wind up handing it at the same exact time. All my classes, no matter when I have them. So I'm going to have a little bit of downtime. I'm going to start Shadow School and see my thoughts, and then I'll give you guys a quick update. I also did make a little bit of progress on my podcast. I have about 54 minutes left of this episode. But I love these episodes. If you have not checked out Rewatchable, it's like a podcast through Hypable.com. I'm doing the rewatch of Agent Carter and the rewatch of Pitch with them. Pitch is like still occurring. Agent Carter happened a while ago. But because of Willy Wonka last year, I didn't watch any TV shows, which is not a good life choice, children. Always have hobbies, even when you're crazy busy. But yeah, so I'm going to go and read Shadow School. I'm going to try to read at least like 25 pages and give you guys my thoughts. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Right here, I decided to film a little bit outside. It's not exactly warm, but it's not like freezing. And I've heard rumors that this week is going to be really, really rainy. So I'm trying to soak up the outsideness while I can. But I did wind up making a little bit of reading progress in Shadow School. The Arithmetic, I think, is what it's called. And I got like 26 pages in. It's a very, very fast read, but it basically follows this young girl named Cordelia, and her parents like move her to this new town, and she winds up going to this the school is called Shadow School. And it was founded by this man who died, and now there's rumors that there's ghosts, and Cordelia thinks it's kind of not real, but then she encounters a ghost, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. But there's a couple of like fun side characters that I'm really enjoying. I'm loving the school. I love schools about like I love school. I love books about schools. I've always loved that. It's a callback from my Harry Potter days. But I'm really enjoying it. It's not a boarding school though, but I'm gonna keep reading and hopefully make some more progress. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay. Hey, it's Lori here. Just checking back in. It is about 3 o'clock. I am gonna go for a quick walk. But I did wind up getting up to page 122 in Shadow School Arithmancy, I think. I'm really liking this book. I think it's a very, very fun beginning middle grade fantasy book. It basically follows this girl named Cordelia. She winds up moving to a new town, and she winds up going to Shadow School, which has kind of like a mysterious past. But she also starts realizing she can see ghosts. And she and two of her friends team up to try to like start sending these, like, getting rid of these ghosts or finding out where these ghosts belong. And it's kind of fun. I've said this before. I love trios of characters in middle grade books. Like, it always reminds me a little bit of Harry Potter. It's like there's two girls and one boy here, but in Harry Potter it's like the opposite. But I'm really liking the world building. I think it's super simplistic. I think it's a nice and fun ghost story. I think this would be a great read to read like around Halloween. But I'm definitely going to hopefully read a bunch more of this tonight. But I am going to go on a quick walk because I think it's going to rain the rest of the week. So I'd want to get in my exercise like outside while I can. And I do still have like a 20-minute podcast episode to complete. So I'm going to do that. And when I come back, I'll check in with you guys. Bye. Here, just checking back in. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair, but it's very, very soft. But I did wind up getting up to page 160 in Shadow School by J.A. White. There definitely was a lot of like world building stuff that happened, and now there's like another mystery that is kind of affecting the kids from returning these ghosts to their rightful home, I'll say. And it's kind of a mystery of like who's involved in that. But I definitely do like the characters. I think that it's super fun. I really like the school. I like the world building. I think some of the scenes are like a little bit like could be a little bit more fleshed out. But I really am liking it, so I'm going to keep reading, and yeah, I'll report back when I make a little bit more progress. Bye, guys. I just wound up doing a yoga class, but I did before that, I wound up getting up to page 200 in Shadow School Arithmancy. Can't ever say that word, but I know what it is now. But this book has definitely become a little bit more complicated. There's definitely a lot of different sides working to save these ghosts. There's definitely like a pro side, a negative side, and then another side that involves the teachers. There's also a lot of friendship dynamics that are super interesting, and I think that Cordelia is dealing with a lot, like moving from home, like moving from where she normally lived. But I really do like the world. I do like the elements of ghost hunting. I think that this book is a little bit more simpler to understand and simpler to follow than the Prospero Redding series that I read by Alexandra Bracken. It's definitely like a more fast-paced story. I do really like the characters as well. I think this book would be perfect for Halloween. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep reading, and I will check in when I get up to like 250 of this book, because I'm gonna probably finish this today or tomorrow. But I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, ooh, it's later than I thought. It's almost 9 o'clock. But I did get up to page 258 in Shadow School. We are coming to the climax of this story. The characters are all kind of working towards one major goal involving the ghosts and the villains in the story. I also think it really did focus a lot on friendship and how differences, even though you don't have to be the exact same as someone for someone to help you. I think that that's an important lesson for kids to learn. I really do like the trio of characters. I like how this book does have like a very, very big adult presence in it. Reminds me a little bit of the Keeper of the Lost City series, because they do have a very, very big element of like adults in that, and I sometimes find that missing in middle grade novels especially. But I really am liking it. I'm 86% done. I'm gonna try my hardest to finish this tonight, but I do want to watch some TV as well. So I'm gonna go make some reading progress. I have a couple of vlogs I want to watch too, so I think I'm probably gonna do that. But at 10 o'clock, I'm probably gonna shut everything down and go back to watching Agent Carter. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Sorry if I'm like talking super loud. I can't hear anything out of my right ear, so if I sound like I'm talking a little bit weird, that is why. But last night I did wind up finishing Shadow School by J.A. White. I thought this was such a fun, spooky read. I really, really liked it. I'm definitely going to be checking out book 2 in this series when it comes out in August. I thought the pacing was very, very good. I really liked the characters. I thought the world building was rather simple, but also super compelling. I really liked the trio of characters. I love the setting. I thought some of the action scenes were not as clear as I would like them to be, but overall I really, really liked it, and I wound up giving it like 3.5 stars. So I think I'm gonna physically pick up Wings on Fire, and if my ear gets a little, I'm also gonna listen to a Royal Guide to Monster Slaying. But I'm gonna start this. But yeah, that's my plan. I was gonna listen to the audiobook, and I still do have the audiobook, but my hearing is like having some issues, so I don't think I'll be able to listen to it. But I am gonna pick it up with my downtime. But yeah, I overall really, really like this, and I'm glad that the kids picked it for me. And now I'm gonna do this one, and I will report back when I make a little bit of progress, because I haven't read much. All right, talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Sorry, here I'm back. Today was not my day for productivity in like any form between my ears. Like I just felt so off because I couldn't like hear anything, and it made me really, really dizzy. But I was able to go to the doctor, which in this time, in this day and age, is somewhat not like as common. So I was able to go. I feel a lot better. I feel like by tomorrow I think I'll be a little bit better. But I was able to listen to some of my podcasts. My goal before the end of the month is to watch all of Pitch and watch all of Agent Carter, and I do think I will be able to do that. So I'm taking an audiobook break from my ears because I've listened to quite a few audiobooks this month. And I'm going to focus on those 2 shows. And the way that I watch those 2 shows is that I watch an episode and then I have to listen to a 1-hour podcast. So it is definitely a lot of listening time. So that's where my listening hours are going to go for the next week. But I did make a little bit of reading progress on Wings of Fire, The Dragnet Prophecy by Susie T. Sutherland. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but this book is like a very, very long fantasy series, middle grade. But basically it follows these 5 dragons, and at the start of the book, a prophecy was made that these 5 dragons will bring about like the end of the war. And these dragons were they're kind of in like an underground bunker, and they're being protected. And there's a bunch of different types of dragons. I think that there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dragons, I think, or 7 different types of dragons. But the dragons that were picked for the dragons that are in the prophecy are one of the ones that they were planned. I think like a couple of issues happened, so now it flashes forward like 6 years, and you see the kids as baby dragons. I think this is book 1 in like a 14-book series, and I'm coming up on the edge of my Keeper of the Lost City series. I have 1 more book I have to read for that. So I do want to pick another long-term series to focus on, and it's either going to be Wings of Fire or The Unwanted. So I want to read both of those this week and kind of decide which one I'm going to focus on. But I do like it. I do like the dragons as main characters. I do like the dynamics between them. I'm getting a little bit confused like who is who. but I think that's just because it's like a starter book in a series. But I'm going to go take a quick shower, and then when I come back, I'm going to make some reading progress. But so far, I'm really liking it. It's definitely like a very, very rich world, a very, very starting series, but they're really enjoying it. So I'm going to go do that. I'll put you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 88 in Wings of Fire. I don't even know how to say this author's last name. But this book has definitely taken an interesting twist. It's definitely become more of like an adventure story with kind of a rescue mission tied in. I'm growing to really like the dragons that we're meeting. We meet 5 dragons, and these dragons are all part of a prophecy that will save the world from the war that is happening between the 3 main dragons. But I think it took me a little while to like learn about them. They're all different dragon types, and in this world, like the dragons don't necessarily get along. They kind of are all competing. But these 5 young dragons were raised together, kind of as brothers and sisters, as the dragons for this prophecy. But when a leader comes to evaluate them, their world is kind of thrown into chaos because the 5 dragons originally of the prophecy were not the 5 that were chosen, and some things are going to happen that these dragons don't like. The main point of view in this one, his name is Clay. I think he's a sandwing, I think. Yeah, I think no, he's not. He's a mudwing. And that dragon, I'll look it up. He has the ability to breathe fire if long enough, hold their breath for up to an hour, blend into large mud puddles, usually very strong. So he's like a young dragon, and none of these dragons have any connection to their family, but they all do have different like techniques and powers. But there's also like a little bit of discrimination going on, or like, levels of society that are going on. Sorry, my computer froze for a minute. But I really hope to make some more progress on this. I'm already on chapter 10. This book is reading very, very fast. You can definitely tell it's like a foundational book. Like you have to, I feel like as the books go on, we'll get different perspectives as well. But so far, really do like Clay as a character, and I like how that we're understanding all the characters' interconnections to each other. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, guys. Hi guys, Lori here, just checking back in. It's a little past 7:30, and I did wind up getting up to page 100 in Wings on Fire. This book definitely has expanded the world a little bit, and we're definitely learning a little bit more about the world. But like, it's following dragons, which I'm really really liking. That I've always thoroughly enjoyed dragons as a creature, but I like that it's like they're able to talk. Like I think that that's kind of cool. But I also really like that it is such an expansive world with so many different things that we're learning about, and you're kind of following these young characters who are really innocent in this world, but are really caught up in the middle of a prophecy. It really does remind me almost of a mix between like a Keeper of the Lost City series, but also like what's the book I was thinking of that had like it's very very Keeper of the Lost City, but also like a Percy Jackson. Like that's like a great mix. But like I think the characters are a little bit younger because they're quite young dragons. But I think that the dynamics between it are really interesting. It also does talk a lot about friendship and being different, and being your dragon and always being aggressive, and that's not who these characters are. But I'm loving Clay as a narrator. I have a soft spot for the name of Clay, just from 13 Reasons Why. I love that character so much in the first 2 seasons. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. My goal is to get up to page 150 tonight, which I think is pretty doable. I didn't read as much as I wanted to today, but that's okay. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I get up to page 150. Bye, guys. Over here, it's 8 o'clock. I did actually wind up getting up to page 120 in Wings of Fire, but I got to like the second part of the book, and I thought that that was a good place to like stop because it was like a pretty good like ending. It definitely took a very interesting turn. I really didn't know what this book was going to be. Like, I knew it had to do with the Dragon Kingdoms, but I'm curious to see, like, what the next part of the book. I really do like the characters' dynamics. I always have. I think that I think it's very much, like, a very book focusing on friendship, but I'm really liking it. I'm definitely going to hope to read another, like, 150 pages tomorrow. That's my other goal, but hopefully I'll read a little bit more tomorrow. But I'm going to go watch some Dark Agent Carter and some Pitch, which I'm in the middle of. And I'll update you guys tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow my equilibrium in my vertigo will be a little bit better. But I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow bright and early. Bye, guys. Here, I'm actually feeling a lot better with my ears today, so I hope to get a lot of listening done. I have to listen to like 3 episodes of a podcast, but I'm also going to try to read Wings of Fire while I have a little bit of downtime. I did get up to page 119 yesterday, which is like about 50% done with it. But they did change their location now, so I'm curious to see what happens. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys probably at the end of the day. It's actually been a much nicer week than I thought it was going to be, so I definitely hope to squeeze in a bike ride today and maybe even play a little bit of Animal Crossing. But this is definitely my priority. Talk to you guys in a bit. Oh, and I did wind up finishing an episode of Pitch last night and an episode of Agent Carter last night, which I was really, really happy about. I'm really making my way through those 2 shows. And I might start Avatar: The Last Airbender tonight. We will see if I have enough time to do that. But yeah, I'm going to go back to reading Wings of Fire as I'm waiting for my kids to slowly hand in their grades. Today my show was supposed to open. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I wish it was opening. I wish we were all in school and, doing all those fun things, but not this year, sadly. But students, I know I'm thinking about you guys, and I hope you guys are staying safe. Like you're even watching this, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Right here, just checking back in. It's almost like 11:45 a.m. I do have a little bit of a break, but I did want to say that I did write up reading up to page 162 in Wings on Fire, The Dragon Prophecy. This book I'm definitely enjoying. I'm definitely liking the characterizations of the dragons. It does have a lot of almost like gladiator vibes right now. I know that's gonna sound like very, very weird, but it does have like gladiator vibes. Also has I'm somewhat reminded of the early Fablehaven series, like with creatures fighting with each other. But I really am liking it. I think it's a very, very rich world and a very, very big world. I'm really liking that we're getting to know the dragons in a lot of different ways. I'm curious to see, in future books, if we're always going to stay with Clay or if we're going to get, other point of views. I really, really would love other point of views. But I do think that the environment that they're in now has really expanded their world. And they're learning they're learning about the world, but so are we. And I think that that's sometimes helpful for middle grade audiences to not be out of the loop, but your character knows the world. Because they were kind of trapped in a cave, so they know what their teachers have told them, but not everyone, and now they're in a totally different location. But I really am liking it, and I'm going to try to make a little bit more progress on it. So I'm going to go back to reading and teach my last class for the day, get some lunch, and figure out what the day is going to bring. It is a little bit windier than I would like, but I am going to try for a bike ride. But yeah, that's my plan of attack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey, Laurie here, just checking back in. It's turned out to be a very, very pretty day, so I actually stayed outside a little while and I was reading. I also did wind up making some reading progress on Wings of Fire by 2TT Sutherland. I have about 50 pages left. I've definitely hit the crux of this novel. I'm now in part 2. There was a lot of interesting plot developments that happened in the middle of this book. Some that I think the characters realized a lot sooner than me. And I don't think it was built up very well crafted, but I'm loving the characters so much. Clay and all the other dragons, I think they're just really, really fun, and I love that even though they're different dragon types, which becomes very, very apparent in this book, they really are each other's only family. So I really do like that trope. I've always loved stories about found family. That's something that I thoroughly enjoy. But yeah, I'm going to go do a quick workout because I'm in the mood to. And then I'm probably going to listen to a little bit of my audiobook, which I haven't listened to any audiobooks this week because I've been trying to catch up on my podcast, which I will be doing later tonight as well, watching a bunch of stuff. But I am going to go work out, and when I come back, I'm hopefully going to tackle the end of Wings on Fire, and that's my plan for tonight. But I will talk to you guys when I'm done working out. Bye. Lori here. I did end up finishing Wings of Fire, The Dragon Prophecy by 2TT Sutherland. I thought this was such a solid read, a very, very good starter book in a series. I thought that it really tackled the characters super well. I thought that for such a, this book is only, it's a little bit over 300 pages, I think, but it tackled a lot of structural stuff. It changed settings a lot. I really like that. I just wish that the book in this very start had fleshed out the dragons, because there's 5 dragons in this book. Clay is the main character, but I just felt like I didn't know the characters that well until like the very, very end, and I wish that they had took a little bit more time in the start to really flesh out those characters. There was also some reveals that I felt like weren't like they weren't as fluid, or I think that they could have used a little bit more time to flesh out them. But I wound up really, really liking this. This is definitely a longer middle grade series, so this is probably one that I'm going to add to my docket once I finish Keeper. But I am going to pick up The Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. This was the next book that the kids chose for me. It's definitely a little bit of a longer book, but the print is pretty big. So I'm going to start this tonight. I would love to make a bit of progress on it. I did get book 2 in a book outlet order as well, but I'm really happy that I'm diving into this. And then after The Unwanteds, I'm definitely going to finally read Keeper, because then at that point I will want a new middle grade series to focus on. So I'm going to go start The Unwanteds, and when I read about 50 pages, I'll update you guys with my thoughts. Bye, guys. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. Sorry for the weird angle. I'm laying on my stomach as I'm watching YouTube. But I did want to check in and say that I did wind up reading about 22 pages in The Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. This is also the same author that wrote the Going Wild series, which I do have book 1 from, so I might actually read it. But it basically follows these two characters, Aaron and Alex, and they're twins. And in this society, when you're 13, you're either noted to be wanted, essential, or unwanted. And it's depending on your behavior, I guess, like as you're put into these categories. And then when you're wanted, when you're unwanted, you're basically sentenced to death and taken away from your family. So you follow one twin who is wanted and one twin who's unwanted. Alex is wanted, and Alex is not wanted, I don't think. Wait, hold on. Which one am I? Yeah, Alex is the one that is unwanted, and he's basically taken where they are expected to be killed, and something unique happens. So I'm right at the start of it, but I really am liking these chapters. I have said this before numerous times. I adore books about twins. Like, I love them so much. These two twins are very different because I think that they always knew that that was kind of the path that they were on. And also, like, once you lose your family member, you really can have no connection and you can't even feel grief. So they're kind of two very different types of characters. But right now we are focusing on Alex, and I wonder if we are going to see Aaron again, because I do like him. I think he's a little bit different. So I'm going to keep reading, and I'll let you guys know when I make a little bit of progress. And also there's like other characters that like make appearances. But I'm really excited to see what Mr. Today is all about. So I'm going to go do that and finish watching Haley in Bookland, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. Sorry I didn't update like all day. It was a very, very busy day. And I apologize for not updating. But I teach a lot of kids. Like, I teach like about 300 kids. So when you have to like update everything for every single one of your kids, it just takes a little bit of time, which is what I was doing today. And then I also had to prep all my posts for next week, which was another thing. And then we had a baby shower for a couple of my coworkers that are having or had babies. So I actually didn't like get anything done today. I didn't wind up listening to anything. I didn't wind up listening to any of my podcasts. But on my bike ride, I wound up listening to 42 minutes of A Royal Guide to Monster Slaying. And last night I read up to page 22 in The Unwanteds. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play like 30 minutes of Animal Crossing and try to see if I can keep listening to my audiobook, and then I'm probably going to read for the rest of the night. But I am happy that I have a 3-day weekend. I think I really need it, and I'm happy about that, but today was a lot of work to prep myself for that, so, but I'm going to go play Animal Crossing for a little bit, and I'll update you guys after I'm ready to go back to read. Bye, guys. Here, just checking back in. I did actually wind up reading a little bit more of The Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. So I feel like I could give you guys like a solid summary right now. So basically it follows this world where it's kind of a mix between the Hunger Games and Divergent and Harry Potter elements. Like, it has like a magic school and some elements, but it basically follows this world where like your children at age 13, I think, are either split into 3 categories: wanted, essential, or unwanted. And and creativity is like not allowed. You can't be creative. You can't have any creative feelings or motivations or anything. And this book follows 2 twins, Aaron and Alex, and Aaron is made wanted and Alex is made unwanted, and you follow his journey, and they think that they're going to be killed when they're made unwanted, but they're really not, and they're kind of sent to this other place where it's kind of like a magic school, and the kids are kind of learning about creativity and being creative. We mostly focus on Alex's point of view, but I'm curious to see if we are going to see Aaron anymore. But I'm really liking it. I love books about a magic school. I love the elements of twins. I love the elements of found family. I love how it focuses on being creative. That is something I'm always striving to teach my students if you're watching this. But yeah, so I'm going to keep reading. I did a deep dive on a case that I was listening to, like all the podcast episodes about. So I want to watch one more video and then I'm going to dive back into my Bookstagram videos, BookTube videos. But I'll talk to you guys when I get up to page 100 and see if anything else has happened. Bye, guys. Right here, checking back in. Sorry, my lighting's a little bit bad, but I don't want to get back up. Sorry. But I did wind up getting up to page 136 in the Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. I'm really liking this book. This is like, I always change what I say the book's like, but it definitely has a mix of like Keeper of the Lost Cities, but also like the Ice Wolves, because it really does focus on the twin relationship. I really like that. It also has a magic school, but it also has like Hunger Game and dystopia vibes, so I'm really liking it. I'm liking that this book is definitely going to dive into a twin connection, which I was a psych major when I first went to college, and I'm deeply fascinated by the bonds between twins. I always like that, so I like that this book is tackling it. But I'm really intrigued. There's also like an older gentleman that has like Major Dumbledore vibes that I'm really liking. There's also other teachers, and we are also seeing both boys. We're seeing Alex and Aaron in their different settings. There also has been some intrigue elements added, which I'm really enjoying. And this book, again, Lightkeeper, is very, very big print. So I read through it pretty fast. So I'm going to keep reading and keep watching my background noises YouTube videos. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hi, Laurie here. I'm back. It's about 8 o'clock, and I did wind up reading to page 154 in the Unwanteds. I'm really liking this book. I always struggle a little bit with fantasy novels in some aspects with like the big battle sequences, especially like when it's pure fighting. But this magic system, or the magic system we're learning, is that they're using the arts as like a weapon. I think that is so cool. Like music and art and like drama. That is so cool. Like I'm really liking that. So Alex's form of weapons, I would say, is like art. I think that's so cool. I really can't wait to see like what the other ones are. But I'm really liking that. There's also like a lot of discussion about the twin dynamics I'm really liking. But he's very much like a young character who's dealing with a lot. But I'm also liking that we are getting Aaron's point of view. His twin has been placed in a very, very high position in Quilling. I'm just really curious, like, what's like the end game of this? Like, honestly, like they're training and there's some fear of like being found out, but like I'm just curious to see like what's the end game. They are preparing for a fight, I would say. Like they are like this where the Unwanteds go, they're not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be dead. So I am excited to see like what the end game is, but so far very 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 unique magic system that I don't think I've ever read before. So I'm gonna keep reading and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I did actually wind up getting to page 200 in the Unwanted, which was right where I wanted to be. This book has about it has about 500 pages. So I do hope to make a bit more progress on this book tomorrow, but I'm really liking it. I've never read a book that has used art as a weapon before, and I think that's such an interesting tie-in for a novel. Like I normally struggle with battle scenes, but I really am liking it. Also, her writing style is super interesting because you go into like everyone's head a little bit. I forgot what that's called. I think it's called omniscient, but I could be wrong. But you go into like everyone's head, and I think it's really interesting because all these characters have such different like point of views. So I think it's really interesting that you kind of get into all of their heads. Alex is definitely your primary narrator, but you do get into like a bunch of characters' heads, which I really like. I love this setting a lot. I think the friendship dynamics is growing on me because Alex, for the start of this book, was a little bit isolated. But I'm liking it. I'm definitely going to make some more progress on this reading tomorrow. Today was not my best reading day. I will say that. It was a little bit stressful with work and doing everything I had to do. I do teach a bunch of students. They know because they gave, well, they know because they know how many kids I teach. But most of them are watching this video because it's about them or it's honoring them in a little bit of a way. Today was also the day my Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior was supposed to close, which is honestly not happening. But I do want to say that I do hope to read a bunch more tomorrow and at least finish this book tomorrow. That would be a plan. I do read this book super fast because the font's really, really big. But I am going to go relax for the evening, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow and let you guys know what I wound up watching. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. I'm back. I am still sitting outside. Today was like a gorgeous day. I just finished half of my work. I have to do like a meeting. There's a lot of logistical things that happen at the end of the year that I have to take care of, like prepping for the end of the year, I'll say. But I did wind up listening to a bunch of stuff during my work day. I listened to my full episode of Agent Carter and Pitch, which is the two shows that I'm listening to. I still need to listen to that first Atla episode, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I watched the first two episodes and really liked, but right now I'm really invested in Agent Carter and Pitch. Agent Carter rewatchable did like last year at this time, and I just never watched it because of Wonka and all my crazy life then, but I'm finally catching up and thoroughly liking the rewatch. I always love their point of views, but I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying Pitch. Pitch is a one-season show that follows what if a woman was the first NBL player. It follows the Padres. It stars Kylie Bunbury, who was in Twisted on Freeform a couple of years ago. It stars Mark Consuelo, Mark Paul Gosselaar, and Ali Leiter, and I'm just loving it. Like, I guess I'm missing like the intense sports I normally watch, and I don't really watch sports, but I do watch gymnastics, and this was supposed to be an Olympic year, so I think I'm missing that like competition. It's a really, really good show. It has a lot of different elements and storylines. It's also written from Dan Fogler, who is also the showrunner of This Is Us, and you can definitely see elements of that coming through in the writing, and I'm really liking it. 3 more episodes left. Sorry, my dad's stupid alarm is going off. But yeah, so that's my plans. I'm gonna go read Unwanted before I have to go to my meeting. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Kara, just checking back in. I did actually wind up reading quite a bit of the Unwanteds. I went for a bike ride. I read a little bit before my meeting, and then I read after. I wound up participating in the Owl Crate reading sprints that they always do Friday. It was actually a really, really nice way to start the weekend. And I got up to page like 374 in the Unwanteds. I'm definitely going to finish this book tonight. But I really like it. It definitely took an unexpected twist. I think this is a very, very slow moving fantasy series, but I'm loving the dynamics between the characters like a lot. I really love the twin elements in this book. I don't think I've ever read a book about twin elements quite like this. But I'm really enjoying it. I love the magic system. I'm really curious to see what happens next. I'm loving the characters that we're meeting. I thought this was a very, very fast-paced story. I also love how, like, I've said this before. This is like just like a little quirk of mine. I love when the titles are like titled. I think that's really, really fun. But I'm really, really liking it. I'm also in the middle of trying to finish my Atla episode, and I have about, let's see if it tells me. I have about 43 minutes left. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up my room a little bit. And then I'm gonna probably work out, and then I'm probably gonna go take a quick shower, and then I'm probably going to come in and finish the Unwanted and kind of figure out what my reading plans are for this weekend. But I'll probably talk about that in the next video when I do my weekend reading vlog. And I do have off Monday, so be a little bit of a longer reading vlog at that. But I'm gonna go organize. I always feel like since I'm working from home, my room gets a little bit messy during the week because it does. But I am gonna do that. I also did play an hour of Animal Crossing. I have all of my villagers present and accounted for. I don't know what happens next. But I'm waiting. Whenever I finish something, I always get like another task. So I'm probably a little bit farther behind like everyone else because I don't play that much. I only play like when I have a little bit of downtime. It's supposed to be bad weather tomorrow, so I might actually play a little bit more tomorrow. But I'm going to go clean and organize, figure out what I have to do, but I am going to work out. So that's my goal. I'm going to go do that. It's also about to rain, so that'll make my reading plans a thing. But I'm sorry, this is like a really, really random update. But I'm going to go do all those things, and I will check in with you guys when I finish The Unwanted, which should not be too long after I start reading. Bye. Here, just checking back in. I did wind up doing an owl babble with Corey from Owl Crate, and I actually was inspired to read my most recent Owl Crate book, but I'll talk about that in my next reading vlog. But I am here to wrap it up because I did wind up finishing The Unwanteds by Lisa Mcmann. I wound up giving this book like 4.5 stars. I thought it was a really fun, solid start to a series. I thought that the magic system was really unique. I thought the dynamics, and I would say this is more of a mix between Harry Potter, Keeper of the Lost Cities, and Divergent, was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see where the next book goes. This book is definitely a shorter, like a slower paced start than I was expecting, but I really grew to really like the characters, and I'm really excited to read book 2. So this was the third book I read this week. The first book I finished was Shadow School by J.A. White. This was a creepy book about a school. I wound up giving this read 3 stars. And then the other series starter that I read was Wings of Fire, The Dragon Prophecy by T.T. Sutherland, and I wound up giving this book 4 stars. I think out of all of these books, The Unwanted was probably my favorite, but I was really invested in both of these, so these would probably be my favorite books. But yeah, I'm really happy that I wound up doing this reading vlog. All of these books were chosen by my students, by my 807 kids. So just want to thank them for picking my reads because I thoroughly enjoyed all of them. I think I enjoyed these two like a little bit more. And if you ask me what series I'm probably going to keep going with quicker, it's probably going to be The Unwanteds, but this series is a little bit more accessible right now. But I just want to come here and wrap up this reading vlog, and I will talk to you guys for my next reading vlog. Let me know in the comments what are some books that you are currently reading, and I hope you guys are staying safe and being well. Bye.